everyone, to episode 201 of the Battle Cats podcast. I'm your brand new host, PvP Steve, joined by my co-hosts, HurricaneKaz and Twastell. Caleb Peng, you might have heard him yap on all of last episode, all of episode 200, about how he'd been in every single episode. Well, maybe today is the day it all changes because the co-hosts have taken over the Battle Cats podcast. And we've got a lot to chat about.
It's true. We have so many takeover events like coming up. It just stands to reason that now is our time.
Yep. So welcome to the new status quo, Caleb Peng. Maybe he was the co-host that dropped. I mean, we were waiting for one of us to quit.
Yeah, literally after episode 200, he woke up the next day and was like, you know what? I have done enough.
It's been a long time.
He just couldn't stand being behind in Kaz's corner.
It's true. That one point difference is really rubbing him the wrong way.
Oh yeah. So, sorry, Caleb, but the show must go on, I suppose. So, yeah, there is a lot of events to get through, so I guess we'll kick it off. The first one is kind of just like a quickie in terms of the test regions have another go pass for the month of May. So we talked about this for the last one where,
Aussies...
Nice. Yeah, it must be nice.
It must be nice.
I don't know who has it and who doesn't. I just know that the US and Japan doesn't. That's
yeah. Well, because Zionic was saying last episode that he had it. So, I think that UK, maybe even other parts of EU, must have it by now.
South
and
Africa
certainly,
because Alan, who won the tournament in Johannesburg, he was like, "Yes, I have the Go Pass now." And so, he was rushing to try and get his Xerneas in the last week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think most of the world that's not US or Japan has it, as far as I'm aware. I also thought I heard that people in New York may have gotten it in May.
Oh.
So, not most of the US, but apparently maybe people in New York. So I don't know if you're in New York and you have it or you don't, let us know. We'd love to have more info on that, but that's what I thought I saw on social media.
Interesting. Maybe they're gathering data for GoFest, because the GoFest is New York, right?
Well, it's right next door in Jersey City.
Well, it's New Jersey, but yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Listen, you gotta be specific.
Sorry. I didn't mean it. But look, this Go Pass is basically the same as the last one. It's just that it now has your Veltal instead of Xerneas, and it is the exact same scenario where it is Great League tradable, and it is also banned from the Great League. So you literally can't select it. I did hear that there were some people that were sort of running it in battles in Great League anyway by doing the workaround where they would send, like in friendly battles or in tournaments, they would send an Ultra League battle and then just pick sub 1500 mons.
Oh, so, sneaky.
You can get the footage, I guess.
So since they are still testing, I assume that also not everyone that even got it recently has the exact same path, because some people were getting Xerneas earlier than others. Yeah,
that's my understanding, is that I'm assuming, maybe they've adjusted based on that first month where they got enough data from the first one where it's like, it turns out the 50 pass, people stopped playing too early. So let's make it 100 for everyone and then still change up the rewards. I haven't looked into it, but you'd be almost certain that if they're still in this sort of test period, there's no real reason why they can't extend it to the Americans in terms of it's not like there's a player cap in terms of how many people they want to test it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people with this Go Pass.
Yeah, it just seems weird that they're rolling it out so slowly. So have you got a Xerneas, correct?
Yes, I did catch my Xerneas.
Yours? Okay.
I've had a few people trade them to me as well. I unfortunately don't have one under Great League yet. Because it's 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 sort of odds in that sort of low 20% at Good Friends, I think.
And so if you completed yours from that initial run, do you also have access to this new one for May to get the Yveltal and stuff? Or
confirmed that I've also got the May one, which again, it's the same scenario where actually I haven't scrolled. I'm assuming that when it goes past 50 and then at around the 100 mark, there's your Veltal candy and stuff. So I think I can guess what the encounter is at number 100. At least now I can claim my Slowpoke candy. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh yeah, big reward.
Yeah, we really
five head reward.
Slowpoke
right there.
candy to match your Slowpoke onesie.
True. Yeah.
They know. The game knows.
Yeah. Look, there's is that the only bet that we still have to pay out? Like, is that all we're holding back on at this point? I feel like we've done everything else.
I mean, technically, you and I have to transfer some shinies.
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we'll... Yeah, community day. But I guess we'll get to that as we go. But yeah, that's basically all the Go Pass is. If you've got it, you know what it's about. And if you don't...
All right, what do we have up next?
Sorry, Americans, too bad.
I think up next we have we did actually very recently get announced the May Community Day, which is now coming up this upcoming weekend, May 11th from 2 to 5 p.m. Pawmi is actually the featured Pokemon, which
let's go.
Why?
Tristan,
why?
How did you get this? Because
like what?
Okay. So
literally, there should have been a pattern.
Okay, so this is
there's
what happened.
no reason for them to do not Quaxley unless they literally listen to this podcast and wanted Tristan to win.
Right, explain yourself.
So what
Tristan.
happened was I had heard this was before, back in March. I had heard talk that there might be a new move, Upper Hand. So I looked at what could learn Upper Hand, because I wasn't expecting them to give it out as a raid day. I was like, oh, it's a new move on its, because if it had been found with other new moves, I'd be like, oh, it's like a June thing maybe. But because it was a standalone, I was like, oh, it's probably going to be a community day move. And so I looked through everything in the main series games that can learn Upper Hand, and Pawmi family was the only one that really made sense as a community day. So that's why I guessed it. And so I guessed that for April, and then when it didn't happen, I guessed again for May. I didn't really but I also forgot what move it was, and so I also forgot they gave it out for a raid day, and so I was like, oh, there's still some new move probably coming for Pawmi. And so I guessed it for May, and then they're not even giving it Upper Hand. So
yeah, no,
which honestly, Upper Hand would have been a way more interesting move than Brick Break.
It's literally you standing at the blackboard doing all the math, all the research, connecting all of the dots with the red yarn, and then someone comes in and they're like, what? No.
This is the exact same as Caleb guessing Baxcalibur community that last one and still getting it right with terrible logic. Just it doesn't make sense. But
this one worked out even better for Tristan though, because he got literally nailed it. The one consolation I have is that me and Caleb, by guessing Quaxley, the final evolution, does at least share the fighting typing.
Wait, what? No.
And it's from the same region.
Wait,
so
is
Steve,
it? I thought it was
Steve
a different region.
I thought it was the same.
Wait, what? Quaxley is the new region. You're right. Oh,
they're both from Paldea.
Right?
Oh, yeah. So I hard lost.
Yeah, you, Steve, are being punished the most.
All right. So look,
literally, Jen texted me after the announcement, and she was like, "Show not Sawaddle."
I changed to Scholar.
Wait, is it based on the first stage typing or the final stage typing? Because
no, the final stage
actually are only electric and water.
Look, they get the points anyway because they have the region right. But I think we agreed on final typing as the
I do think I remember the discussion being about because the community day, while you're catching the first stage evolution, it's the final one that is kind of the end product, that's the one that gets the move and everything like that. So
that's fair. Yeah.
I guess for those that don't know, by the way, that haven't been watching episode to episode, maybe Zona brought you back in last week.
I was gonna say, I just don't understand why they picked Brick Break for the move, because I feel like Upper Hand, for example, like I said, would have been a way more impactful and interesting move to give it. And then my understanding is that Pawmi also has a signature move in the main series games. So why are they not giving it its signature move on its community day? I don't understand why.
Listen, Tristan, they couldn't just make you think that you were psychic.
Sense of anything.
Yeah, look, there's probably just going to be a raid.
No, but
day
I'm
or
saying, why
something in
didn't they do
future,
the
right?
signature move though?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they don't
Or
want
a
to
second
introduce it to
community day
the.
like Charizard had.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a forever
They
game,
got.
right?
Yeah, they got to milk that content as much as possible.
Yeah, they can't give us all of it straight away. And like, I'm sure like this is Gen 9 as much as we've sort of got a chunk of it because, it's the new game at the time and so they sort of wanted to promote it. They weren't up to it in the terms of like, they weren't really like if promoting the other games wasn't relevant, then they wouldn't get up to Gen 9 yet. So this is sort of all long future content. Like this is a long way away.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still kind of a joke. I like a running joke in the community. I think how they basically seems like they've forgotten about the Galar region entirely.
Yeah.
Like they haven't finished adding Pokemon from it. That we still haven't had community days for those starters yet. So they're just like, you know what? They're fine. They're fine over there.
Yeah, pretty much. But look, it does mean that I'll have to transfer 75% of my Pawmi shinies when we sort of get to the next one. Tristan and I do have to transfer some Vanillite shinies, but maybe we can wait till Caleb gets back. I know he'll enjoy it.
Yeah, he'll enjoy the torture more so than anyone. But you did. Oh, Caleb is typing in our chat now. So you did bring up though, like just in case we do have new listeners based on Zionic coming back, we do have a running bet with every community day about how we're guessing what the future community day will be, and then the losers do have to transfer shinies. So unfortunately, that means that Steve and Tristan have been, they were left out last time, and now Steve is left out once again.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you guys, I'm not gonna have to transfer that many shinies.
Joke's on you.
Let's put it that way. But yeah, other than the featured attack that's already been mentioned, what's the bonus for this one? A quarter air cash distance and limited time evolution requirement, because Pawmi does actually have a sort of special one. You can evolve Pawmo into Pawmot after exploring 1 kilometer with Pawmo as your buddy. And it will be the evolution requirement until May 18th. So it is like, you sort of have that full window to be able to evolve, the community DNA move based on the little research ticket thingo, which I still think is a bit of a weird system on the whole, but like, hey, it makes it easy, gives you time to trade, yada, yada. So like a lot of people are very happy with it. So I won't mess.
I definitely do appreciate having more time. I mean, even for ones that don't have a special evolution requirement, just having the extra time, just in case you do. Now that they're giving us this research and they're just giving it to everyone, where you get a new encounter every few days after the community day, like you might get the hundo because it's more possible from the research, and it would definitely suck if you didn't get to evolve that with the move.
And
so
it's also just nice
I appreciate
to have
the extra time.
Well, and it's just nice to have the extra time because, like, sometimes you'll be playing Community Day and then, like, it'll wrap up and you'll just maybe head home and, like, want to, like, make some food and just, like, relax and not have to, like, be, like, checking all your Pokemon to see which ones to evolve. So, like, the fact you have some extra time is nice. Like, I know personally, because I was working on Vanilla at Community Day, so I was just, like, playing with my Go Plus Plus in the background, and then I totally forgot to evolve. And then later I was like, oh, wait. I was like, shoot, I forgot to evolve. And I was like, wait, I have more time. And then I almost forgot to evolve again, but got like one or two evolutions in in the last like half hour before the actual window ended. Because I was like, oh, I have time. I'll deal with this later. And then just got busy and forgot again.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
this is why we can't.
I don't
give
have a
people
lot
time.
of shinies to transfer either.
But yeah, and I also am one of those people
if I
where
didn't have time, I would have evolved less than I ended up doing, so it ended up working out.
I guess
I evolved like 2 instead of 0.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I actually have not evolved Pawmi to its final evolution at all yet because like I always forget to change out my buddy.
Yeah.
Like I'm just now like getting better about like going through and labeling things that I still need to evolve. Like I only have 1 Florges because you have to make it your buddy, and I'm just now getting to my Charcadet. So having a discount evolution requirement for Pommy is for this day is really, really nice.
Yeah. Well, honestly, you just hit like the back all of the things that I did in my little Pokedex
What is
challenge.
the normal?
Normally, I think you have to have it as your buddy. And
wait, what is the
like
normal evolution requirement for it?
Is it like defeat fighting types?
I thought it was walk 10 kilometers for.
Or is it just walk?
Yeah, I think it's just walk 10 kilometers. I remember.
Okay. It's walk, but it's farther. Yeah. It's some bigger distance.
I think it's at least 10. I want to say it's at least 10.
I'll just evolve one of my little guys.
I mean,
and then it'll.
I don't have one evolved because like I haven't needed it, so I just haven't bothered evolving it. So like I don't even think I have the middle evolution yet.
Yeah,
and so
I don't have a palm.
No, it's not like it's meta relevant in any way.
So the answer is adventure to evolve 25 kilometers. It is actually so much.
25. Wow, that is long. So during the community day like window,
so 25 down to 1 is big.
Yeah, it's shortening it to 1 is actually massive. So definitely makes it a lot easier, even if you're just like going in a little circle around your local park.
Yeah, honestly, like evolve some extras just to like IV trade with people in the future if all of a sudden it becomes really good, because no one's going to want to walk 25 kilometers to get more and more and more. So I like highly recommend stack up some extra ones. But yeah, that's basically Paw Me Community Day, which is again this weekend.
Yeah,
so.
No one has time to walk. No one has time to walk 25 kilometers with it as their buddy when they need to defeat 15 dark or steel type raid bosses with Pawniard as their buddy. True. We'll get to it later, but evolve Kubfu as their buddy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
They just keep stacking these painful
They're like, oh, you guys don't like making things your buddy and doing something to evolve them? Well, guess what? More of this.
Yep.
And yeah, that is Sunday, May 11th, 2 to 5 p.m. in your local time.
Yeah. But speaking of getting these 15 dark raid battles or potentially even max battle requirements, there is an update to the Pokemon Go Shadow Raids and Max Battles. Yes. And this has been, long hinted. Was it officially hinted, or were we like not supposed to know? I don't remember. Let's assume that we were supposed to know. Because it says Shadow Raids, starting with the Crown Clash Takeover event, which we haven't talking about, but like it happens at the same time, I guess. Starting with the Crown Clash Takeover event on May 13th at 11 a.m. PDT, trainers can participate in Shadow Raids remotely with a remote raid pass. And this change will remain in effect after the conclusion of the event. So from here on out, you can remote raid shadows.
Oh my gosh, amazing. I say that even as a person who doesn't like shadow Pokemon, like just being able to knock them out and like get the entry in the Pokedex. That's all I care about. Like, gosh.
Yeah, that's fair. And, it gives you another way to play when there are the Shadow Raid days and all of those sorts of things. Obviously, with the purification, you've got better chances of getting Hundo legendaries as well. So there's a, good reason to play. And also, remote raid limits starting on the same time. The daily remote raid limit will increase from 5 to 10. And it may increase further for special events. So, I know that a lot of people are going to be happy about this change. There's just no real downside from a player standpoint, right? Like, if you want to pay for more remote raid passes and play, you can. That's just, it's up to you. It's giving the control back to the player, which it seems good to me.
Mm-hmm. And they're not even done yet. Because you can also, starting on May 19th,
there's more.
At 11 a.m. PDT, before Gigantamax Machamp Max Battle Day, trainers will be able to join Max Battles remotely by using a remote raid pass and the usual number of Max Particles. Not even more Max Particles than you normally would. You just have to use the pass in addition to them. Amazing. Yep. I love this.
And again, it remains past the event. It'll, this is sort of the new quote unquote permanent, pending them changing it in the future, change. It does say that trainers who participate in max battles in person will earn more Premier Balls and XP than before. So they're boosting the in-person rewards, which I think is what everyone's been saying. And also the limit of max particles trainers can hold will increase from 1,000 to 1,500, and it may increase further for special events. And this is also a huge quality of life change.
Yes,
because,
amazing. Oh my gosh. It's, this is all great. I still think that max battles are problematic in the way that like it's still a closed loop system, right? You can only like do max battles to do more max battles, but still being able to participate more like from wherever you are, I think is amazing.
Yeah. Well, like I have only done one Gigantamax ever, and that was because I was at Perth Regionals. Like, you know, we happened to be on top of one. And I was like, oh, I guess. I haven't done one since. I haven't done one before that. And so I was kind of like, well, like maybe, you know, if I've got a remote raid pass sitting there on the raid day, like maybe I jump in one. But like, you know, it sort of, you know, increases like maybe I'll get something. But as you said, it's a closed loop system. It's not something that I feel any pressure to participate in because it's not something that I'm personally interested in. But I think it's just, again, objectively good changes. It is like a little bit weird to me. Like I hold a Dynamax battles at a lower tier of relevance or importance than raids. And so in my head, I'm like, really? We have to use a remote raid pass for like, a Dynamax Charmander? But then I'm like, well, I guess tier 1 raids exist, so it's all the same deal.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I just think, I mean, because I also am of the same opinion. I don't like if we tier everything that we do in this game, you know, like Dynamax and Gigantamax are right now pretty low on the tier because they just don't hold a lot of relevance outside of sort of getting the dex entry. But this means that even for something as potentially powerful as a Gigantamax like Machamp, like they're talking about, where you do like need close to 40 trainers or something like that, that you could potentially just like find a Discord server, like or your local community, even if you're like not able to go out that day, and just like do your one and be fine.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to stress out if it's like if they're organizing somewhere farther away or whatever. It's so nice. Go ahead, Tristan.
I wonder if you'll be able to join max battles from the friends list the same way you can join remote raids from the friends list. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, interesting thought. It doesn't say in the article at all. I guess we'll just have to find out on May 13th at 11 a.m. PDT whether that's going to be the case or not. Because on May 13th at 11 a.m.
Yeah,
PDT,
I agree. These are all great changes.
Yeah, no downsides, really.
I was going to say, I agree. These are great changes. Maybe the first touch of Scopely. I don't know. But it's a nice quality of life.
I mean, I did kind of have that thought.
They originated from Niantic or Scopely or some combination. So,
wait a minute!
What wild Caleb Peng has appeared!
We've been caught, guys.
Scatter!
He just left.
He was like, I really did interrupt. Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, interesting. Well, it seems like our takeover might be coming to an end, but hey, it was fun while it lasted, right, guys?
I had a lot of fun being the cat's gone wild.
Yeah, look, it's not April Fool's, but we're a month late. But we didn't really do any other April Fools, so to be fair, this is
true.
Time zones and all that, you know, it's hard to stick to it.
Caleb made up a whole extra challenge about Kaz's Corner, and then we still haven't done it. So for April Fools, yeah.
There was the Kaz's Corner thing. I mean, the Kaz's Corner, its theme song, intro song. I don't think that's ever happening.
I don't think that's ever happening.
I'm still waiting on this merch that Caleb has been talking about.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, we were just waiting
on that
for you, man.
He's been talking about since we joined the podcast.
Okay, look, listen. I thought it was 1 p.m. for some reason, and so technically I'm on time.
only to Caleb. Only in Caleb time am I on time.
After 200 episodes, I'm finally done. But
that was our main bit. That was our main bit, is we were like, Caleb said 200 episodes, that's it, I'm done.
No, what I was doing is I was trying to catch Rookity for my Patreon stream, because I was like a bunch of XL short, and I was like, this is the last day, so I'm going to grind as much as I can before the podcast ends. Here we are. I did get the necessary rookie candy. Oh, here's something I messed up on. I thought you needed full like 296 XLs, but you actually don't. You only need like 290, 230 something.
Oh, okay.
I have a pretty high rank one.
So what, like level 48 ish?
Yeah, I think so. But here's the really ironic part. I didn't need to go out and grind because I had 236. I had like 230 something. And I literally could just converted some of the XLs over, or like some of the reg candy over. But I was like, oh, I still need like 60 more XLs. Let me go, grind this out. And so I left that like around like 10 or 11 a.m. my time, and then I just got back, and then I was like, oh, I'm good to go. And then I just looked. I was like, I'm so stupid. Like I like checked the power up, how many more I needed, but I didn't look at the CP, and I just realized when I checked, I was like, wait, it's over 2,500.
Oh my god.
Well,
anyway,
I guess you didn't get any better IV ones to build instead.
No. Where we at here?
All right. Well, we just talked all about. We've talked about the Go Pass. We talked about Pour Me Community
we
Day.
replaced you.
This is going to be a nightmare to edit because you guys didn't timestamp when you started talking about these events, right?
Nah.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, where are we at right now? We on the Shadow Raids?
We're just about to get into the Crown Clash Takeover. We've not even touched it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We talked about Shadow Raids and Max Battles.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I'll let you
just finished Shadow Raids.
Okay. Well, let's. What? I don't know what the timestamp is because for me it's Can one of you write the timestamp whenever we talk about this? Because it only shows me 3 minutes. Yeah.
Interesting.
So whenever we start talking about stuff, just write the timestamp so I know when to. Well, I guess the rest of it, I'm gonna have to listen to it.
Unlucky.
You're gonna have to listen to a lot of jabs at your expense.
Yeah. This is
the audience one. I'm gonna edit out. Welcome to episode 205. Let's talk about the Go Pass.
Did you say episode 205? Man, you're really skipping ahead.
Let me go back to the beginning.
We didn't record that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, we'll talk about when we get to community thing because we should probably be making that community guest, but you all had to transfer some stuff, right?
Yeah, we were.
They were literally waiting for you because they knew how much you would delight in their torture.
Hey, that's delight in their torture. We all agreed upon this. This is not me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the Crown Clash takeover, I guess. So this is the Rocket events, the every 3-month GPL Rocket events, and it starts next week, Wednesday, 14th to Sunday, the 18th. So very kind of a short event. I wish these were like guaranteed to be like a week long because sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. I don't know why. But obviously, Team Go Rocket will appear more frequently in Pokestops and balloons. And you can use Charge Jam to get rid of frustration, which is probably one of the biggest selling point besides new shadows. And then also, this is a good part too. 1-star and 3-star shadow rates during the event will have a wider variance of attack, defense, and HP. That's really nice because sometimes they have like certain shadow Pokemon in the raids, and they're like, they're not ones in the stops, but sometimes they're also in the stops too. But that way, it makes them worth rating for, I guess, if you want a good PvP spread. I really hope they bring back Galarian Weezing for the raids. That would be nice.
We have some.
Oh, that would be nice.
So we have some good ones in raids, though. We have in the raids. I'll just skip ahead to that while we're on it. 1-star raids. Shadow Magnemite is pretty good. Shadow Cyndaquil, Shadow Murkrow, and then Shadow Spoink is pretty nice for anyone who doesn't have one. And then for 3-star raids, the big one is Shadow Lapras, and then also Shadow Piloswine and Shadow Girder. But having Shadow Lapras available in Shadow Raids is pretty nice because I think there's a lot of people who might not have one or not have a good one. And Shadow Lapras is pretty relevant right now, I would say.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Unfortunately, there's no Shadow Galarian Weezing. So if anyone got excited and hopeful for like 5 seconds, my bad. Yeah. Anyway, and then this is a little bit weird for the eggs. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was only available. But Larvatron Pawniard will be moving to 10-kilometer eggs and will be taking out the 12-kilometer egg pool.
I mean,
That's
on the
pretty
Larvitar
nice.
front, good. Okay, happy days.
Yeah.
But Pawniard is a bit interesting in that, like, we're just about to get the, King Gambit and stuff, and they're now sort of
Yeah.
like scooching it over from like a little more guaranteed. I guess like you could argue that 10-kilometer eggs are like easier, but you're also not guaranteed to get them. So
I think they're harder to get.
Yeah. The
maybe.
problem with 12 kilometers is also the fact that like
Yeah.
there's stuff in there that you can literally get no other way.
Yeah.
That like newer Pokemon that you can get in no other way.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I like the idea that 12
Right,
kilometers
but
focus
I will
more
counter
on
that.
Yeah, Tristan?
But 10-kilometer eggs have Tinkaton that you can get in no
Oh.
other way.
Truly.
So I actually don't love this change because it's diluting the 10-kilometer egg pool more and makes it harder to hatch Tinkaton.
That too.
Tinkatuff or whatever.
We
it's
just
called,
can't
the
win.
base one.
We just can't win at this game, you guys. We can never beat the Pokemon Go.
That's what they want you to do. So it's a forever game. You can't beat a forever game now. And then of course there's a ticket you could buy and a bunch of stuff. It doesn't really even say what there is, but you just said like, oh, check it out on the web store. So
did we go over the new Shadow Pokemon yet?
No. Yeah, we gotta go over the new Shadow Pokemon. So great call there. So new Shadow Pokemon coming to stops. Shadow Slackoth, Shadow Inkay, Shadow Tyrant, Shadow Amara. We don't know what Cliff, Sierra, and Arlo are going to get. I'm really hoping one of them is Lapras. Because if you only could rate for it, that's kind of annoying. But if they bring back Lapras to one of the leaders, that's nice. Because, again, they could be shiny. And
Yeah.
or a higher chance of shiny, I guess, because the Ray could be shiny. And then it's an easier way to
Or
it.
if they put Lapras in the regular grunts too.
Or that,
Just bring
yeah.
it back somehow.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
That would be fine with me too. They didn't do it in the past, but they've been out before, so maybe they will. Like before, you had to do like I think it was Sierra that gave you Lapras, but
yeah, that was what was in my memory too. Is like I thought I remembered Sierra having Lapras at some point in time, so that would be really nice if they return to that.
Oh.
Especially,
yeah, no, you guys are right,
Yeah.
but
I will say,
I was just gonna say they have moved Pokemon that were in leaders to grunts in the past.
Yeah.
And then like once they are shiny eligible, there's like a lower chance of getting them shiny from the grunts. So like hopefully it's back in some form. And then I think the most interesting from these new shadows is the Shadow Inkay. I think Shadow Malamar is going to be pretty interesting. Especially if that shadow status lets it hit some like Psywave breakpoints, because doing an extra damage per Psywave can be pretty impactful on a one-turn move.
Yeah, I'm curious if
and that has both Great League and Ultra League relevance.
Oh man, I hope I have the XLs. Oh, I'm good. 559. Okay.
No need to quick
XLs.
grind.
Yeah. Wait, do they spawn at regionals? Is that why I have so many?
yes.
Okay,
They
do.
have. They have in the past. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's probably why.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do they?
I think they did. They have recently because I remember catching a bunch at Atlanta.
Okay, then it makes sense. I haven't gone to as many tournaments this year, but there's just been less in general, right? Like at least
yeah.
Definitely North America, but I think less than overall. But
yeah.
One thing, okay. Look, I know I got people's hopes up with the Glenn Weezing raids, but what if they have Glenn Weezings in the Rocket leaders?
Keep the hopium up.
They don't usually do a second stage evolution as an encounter, but this is a little bit different situation.
Well, yeah, well, they've had like shiny Shadow Coughing in the past because I've got one, and I think I could have evolved that into Shadow Galarian Wheezing. So like.
Only during that event, though.
Only during that event. So, like, like people do have shiny Shadow Galarian Wheezing, right? So it's not like it's a new.
But we need the Galarian Wheezing because you can't evolve them.
Yeah.
Right now, right? So.
Yeah. Currently, there is no window. But hey, hopefully, when they remember that Galar is a region that exists, we'll have.
Unless they give us an ability to evolve again.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll have another event that features it.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen.
Which they really need.
Marowak do that.
They really need to do. Like, we haven't been able to Right. I was gonna say they need to like bring that back as a more regular feature, just from an accessibility standpoint. Because like,
Oh wait,
if you miss that event to evolve for like Shadow Alolan and Marowak back, I guess it was in Rock or in Raids, but like, it's just we've only had one chance to evolve for Alolan and Marowak and one chance to evolve for Galarian Weezing, and like, if that's gonna be a feature ever, that needs to be something that returns more frequently, just so people have the option.
Yeah, and we've only ever had one chance at like Shadow, or not Shadow, Armored Mewtwo as well, and Keldeo, like we've talked about. Like they have a habit of like giving us one nice thing every blue moon.
No, I'll tell you what. Then no, they can't bring Armored Mewtwo back quite yet because I'm using it as really solid trade bait for Xerneas.
how many do you have? How many extras do you have?
I've got like 2 more.
How
I've got
many do
2
you
more
have?
extras that are ready to trade
Wait,
away.
also, how expensive is that? Because you need to do that with low friendship, right? The Xerneas?
Oh yeah, I've
that's
been
gonna
sort of
be-
like dodgy stratting it in terms of like they'll trade me the Xerneas one trade and then I'll trade them the Armored Mewtwo later.
That's smart. That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
Or you could do it during community days, and instead of
Yeah.
1 million dust, it'll be 500,000 dust. But
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Listen, he's got it all up here, okay?
Look,
I trust your swindling skills.
Yeah.
Okay, here's
Learn
the
from the
dream
best.
scenario for me for Cliff, Sierra, Arlo. All right. There's 3 stages. Either one, you have Galarian Weezing, which is probably the best scenario in one of them, but I'll take Lapras as one of them as well. Or 2, you have both in it. That's really nuts, right? Both Galarian Weezing and Lapras. And
I
3,
really think you're overhyping the Galarian
Oh.
Weezing.
well, no, 3. This is where I really get people's hopes up. This is where the hopium comes in. Is they have Alola, Marowak, Galarian Weezing, and Lapras in the leaders.
Oh my god.
You know what? Niantic's heard our
All of
cries,
our-
and the game's no longer inaccessible.
All of our problems will be solved.
Yeah. Also, Shadow
Uh,
Dialga exists now, so that's
Oh yeah, shout out Dialga is coming out as well. So
The only one that cares about that is Martine Inadequance. So
I thought it's actually not bad, right? Am I tripping or what? I think it's like it's gotta be frail. It's gotta be super frail.
Oh, yeah. But I do think it might be better than Palkia. Like,
yeah.
I
The
mean,
steel typing helps.
Yeah, that's a low bar, but I do agree. I think that'll probably be the case. Okay, here's what I'll say. I played regular Dialga in a Ultra League factions meta back in the day. And this is non-shadow, right? One crunch from a Drapion, I think it was Shadow Drapion, would take out more than half my health, it felt like. Maybe it was half my health exactly. Dude, that thing is frail. And that's an Ultra League, right? Just imagine a Great League. And it's Shadow. I don't know if it could tank a crunch. Do we have sims on this? Can we sim it?
You can sim shadows. It's like you can just hit the button on anything.
Yeah, it looks like against the Great League meta, the concentrated meta, it goes 12 wins and 36 losses.
Wait, how do you see the
In the
shadow? I
windshield
can't even sim
against
the
the
shadow
Great
yet.
If you
League.
scroll
Yeah,
down to like below the shield 012, like above the little health bar,
You just
there's a
click
shadow
the
form.
shadow button.
No, there it. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So I haven't done that
Very
well because you
helpful.
usually have a default shadow
Yeah.
option. Okay, one crunch from a shadow Drapion does 80% damage.
And it takes
But the problem
5
is-
poison stings together.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the problem is the poison stings overall also wear it down so that you only really need to land one. You win the zeros though against Shadow Drapion.
Yeah, to be fair, like one Dragon Breath is doing 4.3%
Yeah.
of
You win the
Drapion's
twos.
health. And that's a
Yeah, if
every
you shield
half
twice,
second.
you have 83 out of 107 health left. You have like
Whoa.
75% health left. I don't know. This thing's kind of nutty.
Yeah, I think if we could have some play. I think
Okay,
that,
let's-
Inadequance could hit a top 4 with this at some point. It's
Well, how many times does he use this? The real question. But yeah, okay. It could be a Zoomer if it has a 2-0 shield advantage.
In a Tinkaton meta,
well, there's still
my
dragons
God.
running around every now and then. We'll see.
In a Corviknight meta, I think the sand attack itself will take it out.
oh my god.
Yeah. No, actually, I'm not even tripping. So the sand attack.
yeah.
Oh no, it doesn't. You need to throw a sky attack, but still. You don't even get to move in time. Why does he not?
No.
Why do you not get to move? Because you're trying to get to Iron Head? I don't know. But you can't. I don't know why they're not throwing a move in this sim. But
Yeah, it looks
No,
like
I haven't.
that'd be bad.
No, I haven't thrown. You do get to the Iron Head, but like in the one shield.
You get to it in the zero shields too, but it's not throwing it for some reason. Like if you look at the, like they could throw an Iron Head, but I don't know why they don't. All right, let me see if they throw an Iron Head. How close this gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it's
mean,
not
honestly,
close, is the answer.
The Corvid Knight's like below 50% health. It's not
Sure.
terrible.
Sure.
Like
you've
it's
taken
a
out
better
Pokemon,
matchup
man.
than Skarmory versus Lantern. But
Leaving a half health Corviknight plus 2 Pokemon against 2 of your Pokemon isn't where I would want to be. I'll put it that way.
let me check Tinkaton because that you do have Iron Head for it, which
True.
doesn't do anything.
Tinkaton is like literally the hardest loss in the one.
Yeah, they outpace you to the play rough is a problem.
You probably die to like one
Oh my
bulldoze.
God.
Not quite. It only does
How much does a
52%
bulldoze do?
actually.
That's
oh my
crazy
God, Bulldoze
that
is
like
so,
yeah.
that's so wild.
Yeah.
Only 52% from bulldoze.
Crunch from Drapion, which isn't super effective, does so much more
Yeah.
than a super
it's,
effective Bulldoze. That's
It's
crazy.
not ideal. But yeah, you don't even win the 2-0 shields. Like there's just nothing you could do. Sorry if it cut off briefly. There was a small technical error. And Kaz blames Mitten,
Wasn't me
so
this
we'll
time.
blame the cat for now. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
true.
wasn't
I mean-
interested.
It's
Honestly-
true. I'm sending the photographic evidence of Mittens looking mad, like into the chat, just staring.
Wait, show it to the camera as well for those that are. Oh, that's the camera you use? That's pretty high quality, actually.
Yeah, like he's just sitting in front of everything, just looking at me. Like,
Wait, Mittens looks so
mad.
different from that angle than when he's on. Like, that looks like a different cat.
No, I guarantee Mittens. There's only one cat in this house. You cannot
love
possibly be 2 different cats.
I love how you can see Min's face like halfway on your camera. It's hilarious.
He's like you could see his little ear like just poking through over there. Like,
You know, my cat's just in her cat bed.
yeah.
What you doing? All right, I will say this: I came back home the other night and just walked into my living room, my socks on. Wetness hit my sock right away.
Oh no.
How do I look down? It's just fresh cat throw up I stepped in.
Ugh.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was,
The joys of cat ownership.
for real.
Wouldn't know it.
Anyway, let's get into the other event. We have Shadow Reggie Gigas Raid Day. So this is going to be, I assume, tied into the Rocket event, right? Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
that 17th on the Saturday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. I don't know how many people are really excited for this. Maybe Marco Galde. That might be about it. Up to 5 additional raid passes.
I know that Taffy Star is very excited about it. We talked about it on the last
Okay.
episode of the Dragon's Den because she has the Hundo Shadow and she's like, I might as well.
Wait, how many did she do? Did she only do one to get the Shadow Hundo from the Rocket
think-
Radar?
I don't know. She didn't say.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like the benefit of getting multiple is that they've got different hidden powers. So if hidden power is ever buffed, then
Well, that's good and bad because what if you get a Hundo, but it's like the worst hidden power combination you have, right?
yeah.
But
That's how you know you'll get the Hundo is if it's the worst.
true. It's like having 100% Beautifly. Like, what are you gonna do with that? So, Regigigas, they might have during the event may have higher attack, defense, and HP. What does may have? Does that like? It's the old Shadow Legendary variants, right? It's like 0, like it's like a 5 base floor, I guess, instead of 10 for regular raids.
Well, I guess theoretically, right? Like in a normal Regigigas raid, you could get a Hundo, right? So like, they're not guaranteeing that a Shadow Pokemon will have higher IVs than a regular. It's just that it might.
Well, no, the way I'm interpreting it is the because usually it's a 10-10-10 floor for raids, right? But for Shadow Legendary
it's
raids,
5-5-5.
it's usually like a 5-5-5.
Oh, I see.
Is that
Yeah,
what they're
yeah.
trying to say? Like, it's just like it's a weird wording where like they may have higher attack, defense, HP. Like, no kidding. Like it's RNG.
Well,
Like, of
I
course it
think
may
it's
have
a-
higher, it may have
it's a
lower.
lower-
Too.
Yeah.
Like,
I
what
think
does
it's a
that? What does
higher
that statement
floor.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
think
would be
maybe
my
instead of
bet
like a
too.
555, it's like an 888 or something. 666. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, it's possible. It's just that this line of information tells us absolutely nothing. Oh, if you go outside and catch Rookity during this event, it may have higher attack, defense, or HP. Yeah, no kidding. It may not. Like what? What's the point? Like, yeah. If you hatch a bunch of eggs, some of your Larvitar from 10 kilometer eggs may have higher attack, defense, or HP.
Well, okay, here's another thing that I'm thinking, because we just did the information for the takeover event.
let's not get caught up
And the
too much
takeover
on
event
this.
mentions that like the shadow Pokemon from raids might have a higher variance of like attack,
Yeah.
defense,
Sure.
and whatever.
That makes
So
sense.
this is probably reminding you that for this specific like raid day, that it's
not
just
doing that.
going, that they're not doing that. That it's going back to having like a regular higher floor.
You know, that will require them to assume that everyone's read the previous blog post and they're tying it into a part 2. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that's what they were doing. So maybe they're like, oh, these
Yeah.
are the last one. But this one, we're going back to the higher floor than the other thing. I mean, usually it's
Anyway.
5 by 5. Yeah.
I think
Anyway,
lower floor is
the
only
remote
for
raid
like
limit
3
will also
stars,
increase
But anyways,
to 20.
You have the extra.
Yeah. We don't need to spend any more time on it.
The only other piece is that there's a timed research that if you finish it, you'll get an extra 1,000 Stardust per raid you complete. So
10,000
happy days if you want to.
And you get a base.
No, you
10,000
get 10,000,
Stardust
but you
for
get an extra
finishing it
1,000
as well.
per raid. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically the event. That's
all right. Anyways, next event.
If you want it.
Yeah.
Yes. Next event, we got the final strike Go Battle Weekend.
Go
Battle Week. So yeah, Go Battle Week, which is arguably better. It's right towards the end of the GBL season too, so like everyone gonna be grinding hard for that final push. But I think that part is fine because it encourages people on the leaderboard to play too. Because I know a lot of people on the leaderboard just sit there right towards the end, and hopefully they'll actually actively battle and stuff too. And Kubfu training is ready to evolve into Urshifu. Next installment, special season, special research, all that stuff. You get vet team Pokemon like Charcadet, stuff like that. So we had the debut of Urshifu, both single strike style and rapid strike style. And single strike, it's this is where it gets a little bit controversial. But if you defeat 30 dark type Pokemon raids or max battles, Kubfu as your buddy, you don't have to defeat the Pokemon with Kubfu, then you can evolve it into Urshifu single strike. And then for rapid strike, it's 30 water type or in raids or max battles with Kubfu as your buddy. Same thing, you don't have to defeat the Pokemon with your Kubfu. Now, I think this one's a little bit better, and I saw Steve talk about this on X as well too, because you don't have to actually raid all of them. You can just do some max battles, which helps because that's also free. You use your daily free pass, might be okay, But if you the King Gambit event was different because you had to actually raid, but it was 15, right? Am I mistaken? It was like 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was 15. This is
kind of it's kind of like they doubled it. Yeah, it still doesn't feel great because you can't fit in like 30 free raid passes and max battles, right?
Put it this way, they've increased the particle limit to 1,500. You can get your, 1,000 plus a day particle wise. You can
wait. What do you mean? They increased the max you can hold?
Oh yeah, you missed this, but they're increasing the maximum amount of particles you hold from 1,000 to 1,500.
Okay.
So you can do it depends obviously on like whether they have like the 1-star Dynamax Pokemon available with the typings, which is always going to be a problem. I think water is going to be pretty easy because there's almost always going to be a Dynamax water type.
I was going to say, I feel like water is way more common because not only do we have a lot of starters that are available, like at least 2 water type starters, we also have, the Kingler that is available. And I feel like there's another one.
I saw someone ask.
Wait, I just realized.
Dark types.
Yes.
What dark types? What?
I don't even think we have any dark types.
What dark types are in
what
max
dark types?
battles? I think Sableye coming out soon is the only one.
Oh, Sableye is coming. Yeah.
It could be a good one.
Sableye is like debuting later this month. That's the only dark type in max battles, I'm pretty sure.
I also just realized regarding these Pokemon debuts, it's not like you have to evolve the Kubfu into Single Strike or Rapid Strike Urshifu during this event, right?
Correct.
So you don't actually have to do it in that week.
No. Yeah, you don't.
Okay.
You have
actually not as bad.
More time.
Yeah. I think the King Gambit one's particularly annoying because how often do we have Darker Steel and raids, right?
Yeah. That's... Well, again, how often
but
we
with
have
Urshifu, how often do we have dark in
battles?
raids?
Yeah. Urshifu Rapid Strike style is going to be fine. I think. I'm not concerned about that because you can just do 3 to 4. Like you can sort of tick off 3 to 4 for free every day if you want. So,
do we know how good they're going to be? Like which one's better?
I haven't seen, to be honest.
Okay, Urshifu.
I assume they're too big for Great League, as is.
Yeah.
No, you can. Depending on your IV.
Actually, no.
In Great League.
Hold.
Wait, it's the one we have level 15 or level 20?
I'm pretty sure it's level 20.
Oh, okay. That would make it.
I think it's 15.
No, it would have to be level 15 to fit in.
Wait, I think mine looks like it's level 15. I could be
mistaken. No, it's 15.
Well, PV Poke's actually.
Mine's level 15.
Yeah, PV Poke's got it coded in such a way that there's only 39 possible ranks. So I think there's only.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Everyone, check your
so you have to be.
I think mine.
Oh heck, that's a big attack stat.
No, mine's not good enough. My I have 11 attacks. I thought it'd be good, but I have 11, 13, 15. But it's so short. Can't trade them.
That sucks.
That's it's kind of an inaccessibility factor here.
We could have paid for another one, couldn't we have?
Yeah, definitely.
Wasn't there like a ticket to buy a second one?
Yeah, but still, like that other one.
But I did not do
might
that.
Not be under either.
No. Yeah, but yeah, because actually, I think you can sort of math if PV Poke is correct in the sort of like 39 different combinations that do fit under. Theoretically, if it's 10, 10, 10, there's 216 possible combinations, which by that quick maths, then maybe it's like a sort of 1 in 5 chance that your Kubfu is going to fit.
Yeah. So the typing changes too, right? So Rapid Strike.
Yeah.
18, yeah. So for Rapid Strike, it turns into fighting water type, kind of like a Poliwrath. It's got Close Combat, Aqua Jets, Brick Break, Dynamic Punch. Honestly, that's pretty good moveset combinations. With Counter, Rock Smash, Waterfall, you probably just use Counter. And then Urshifu, the Single Strike variant, it's Dark Fighting, so like a Pangoru. Close Combat, Dynamic Punch, Payback, Brick Break. Man, just the moveset combination. It just already looks way better to have the Rapid Strike variant. But... I don't know. Stat products is exactly the same, so that won't change. And how beefy do these get for Master League? 4,077.
Whoa,
that's pretty high.
Okay,
that's pretty high up there. I mean, what's it? Dragonite's 4287 though, so below Metagross as well. Ursaluna? No, Ursaluna's way higher as well. What's this comparable to? Gyarados? It's a little bit beefier than Gyarados, I guess.
Okay.
It's not as bulky as Rhyperior though, so
I think the other big question
it's similar to Rhyperior in stats, but just a little bit less defense. Say again?
They're not tradable.
Oh, they're not tradable. Yeah. They're not tradable.
I think the big question is,
if they're tradable, I feel like there'd be a few lucky ones
later.
I hope they will be.
Well, no, I know. I'm saying they're not.
They've never made something tradable.
But like, for example, with Cosmog, I don't think you could trade it originally, but then later on you could. So there is precedent for it.
No, I think Cosmog it was always tradable.
I thought it was always tradable.
I think there
was something. There was one of these like seasonal research legendaries that wasn't tradable to start with, and then could be traded later though. So we'll have to see what happens with that, because if it is tradable, then you have a chance to lucky trade to get the like Hundo or Hy-Vees for Master League, or you have the chance to like low friendship swap it for Great League.
Don't lucky trade. Yeah, that's good friend guaranteed. And then you've actually got really good odds of getting a Great League one if you can start trading it. But as of yet, you cannot. So
yeah, it just depends
we'll
on your
see,
priorities, though. Like if you want to use it for Master League and like Dynamax, then Lucky Trade could make sense. But if you want it for Great League, then obviously go for the low friendship trade. It's just frustrating that like in theory there's 3 leagues and there's 2 forms, and you can only get 2 at most if you paid for 1. Otherwise, you only have 1.
Yeah, and even if you paid for one, you might not have one for Great League anyway. Which, as like, even if I paid for one and I got neither of them in Great League, I'm not using either of them for anything else. Like, they would just be dead weight in my storage, because I play this game for one thing and one thing only, and that is 1500 CP and below. So.
Says Mr. I just completed the whole Pokedex.
It was for content.
Sounds like you play for a few things. If it can make you a video.
I mean, I did that all in 4 days. That's the.
Yeah, Tristan.
I read this in a local Discord server. I hadn't thought about it, but like because it's a 200 candy evolution, like obviously you can like dump rare candy into it or whatever. And like there's been like some like timed researches that have given candy, and there's various field research that have candy as well, so you can grind it that way. But something I hadn't thought about is because it's a Dynamax Pokemon, you can put it in your party, beat a max battle, and then leave it at the power spot, and then when other people beat that power spot, you have a chance of getting candy for it. So
but
it's an easy
if you
way
put
to
it
just
into the power spot, then you can't
candy.
have it as your buddy.
Yeah.
Wait, can you not have it as your buddy when it's in the power spot? Okay, well,
no. It's like putting.
You can do it now.
Yeah, it's putting something in like in a gem.
Yes. Oh yeah.
In theory,
yeah.
Before we have the
like
ability to
up to the
event, you could be doing it now.
Yeah.
Also,
that's one way to farm
have
it.
2, you can leave 1 while buddying the other. Right? There's different things you can do there.
Yeah.
True. Also, like once you finish the buddying thing, you don't have to evolve it right away. So you could just keep throwing them in power spots afterward too. Yeah. I almost never do because my area there's not even room for them. But also when I did it a few times, it's like I don't really need more Metagross candy, right? But yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's something to look forward to, and hopefully you have a better PvP IV spread Kubfu than us, or hopefully you have the hundo. And hopefully you're not in my spot where it's neither. So, but I think that's how the majority of us are going to be suffering. Anyway, let's go to Kaz's Corner. Glad I didn't miss this.
Well, you didn't, and you won't because there isn't one because I didn't know if you were going to be here.
Oh, my bad. Tristan was at 10, right? I think this points might be a little bit inaccurate.
I thought he was at 9.
Oh,
didn't he hit 10 last week?
I think.
Double digits.
I think we just didn't add it because it was
yeah.
Yeah, I believe he had 10. So he's actually at 10, I'm at 8, and Josh is at 7.
Yeah, because you weren't tied at the lead. Right. Tristan did have the lead. Yeah.
Okay. That being said, we have ourselves some Go Battle League. I don't know if too much has changed. I hit last week I listened back to the episode and I was talking to Zanik and he was talking about how he hit 29.99 and then like just lost it and like didn't hit legend and stuff. Dude, I was at 29.99 right after that episode and I'm at like the 2700s now. It was so tilting. And the crazy part is I lagged and my Credilli with 100 NG just gets powder snow down in one of my games leading up to 29.99 in that set. If I won that I hit 3,000. The next set, I could have won a game too, and I just straight up froze. And battle can't be recovered. I hate that one because I'm pretty sure the other opponent loses too. Like it's just like a lose-lose situation. I don't know what causes it. You're just literally like tapping, and then you go to throw a charge attack, and both of you just freeze. And I'm just like, dude, what is? It's like the most tilting lag, right? It's like I don't even mind the old lag where it's like. You freeze up and you restart the app, you come back in, they're still tapping away and throwing stuff, right? And you're like way behind. that's like still like okay, like you can still kind of get back into it a little bit maybe or see what happens. But this like blatant freezing, and I'm just on like fiber internet, full bars, airplane mode and everything, DND, no low power save mode. You know, second newest iPhone that's out, and so happens anyway.
Is it new? Because this has actually never happened to me. And like, obviously, I don't play a ton, but like when I stream it,
no,
it's
been around for like probably a year.
This happened to
I don't
me.
think it's happened to me in the last year. Then I think
it honestly doesn't happen to me super often. It's like just every once in a while you'll experience like that specific problem.
I'll get it at least like probably once a week or so. Maybe a little bit more if it's particularly bad. There's some days where I've gotten it twice in a day, 2 or 3 times a day.
Are you on iPhone, Kaz?
No, I'm on a Pixel.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe my phone's just too OP. I don't know.
Yeah, let me guess. Steve, how many total battles have you done this season so far?
Yeah, let's figure out what the real source is.
How much you got?
I will say last season I did, I finished the timed research thing, so that's still in the.
Well, last season, this season. I'm talking about this season.
This season I've done 335 battles.
Okay, I've done 1180. I've done more battles this season than I have last season, actually. And we still have like a month to go.
Last season I did 979. So.
Yeah.
But in all of those 1200 plus battles, I've never seen this lag glitch, whatever. So I don't know.
Oh. Count yourself fortunate, but me,
I know.
I've only
really
done
lucky.
530 this season, and I got it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I got lucky. Either way, I'm about to try some Ultra League today.
In remix, Shadow
Mm-hmm.
Dusknoir. Shadow Dusknoir is super good.
I'll
super
see you,
fun
Shadow
in
Dusknoir, and raise you my Pidgeot.
Okay. Oh, very tilting thing that happened to you. You just remind me, Kaz. I tried to Pidgeot yesterday while I was battling on my patron stream. I was like, oh, shoot, Gus, you have to Elite TM too. So I Elite TM Air Cutter, right? And then Elite TM, I was like, oh, I need Elite TM Gus. I'm just clicking through. I accidentally give it a wing attack.
No!
I was like, dude, that's not even, like, I don't even need Elite TM for this. I was just clicking through. I accidentally just forgot what I was even doing, right? So I go back and spend another Elite TM. So I spent 3 Elite TMs on this dang Shadow Pidgeot. And it was a little bit underwhelming, honestly. It's annoying to face, but it's also kind of hard to use, based on my opinion. But
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the 2700s, so maybe that's my issue.
well, here's the thing. I was using it, and then I went to the 27. I dropped to the 2700s because of it. But
no, but I found it to be actually pretty nice so far. I mean, I have literally encountered almost nothing but like fighters and ghosts. So I feel like Pidgeot just like steamrolls really through things. Yeah.
What do you pair with?
I encountered like a fighting double ghost team that just like I was like you have no answers for this bird. You just
have when they're staying in with the fighter.
Like they safe swapped from a Primeape to the Dusknoir, and I was like, no, see, you just don't know. You just don't know what you're doing. Yeah. And then they had another ghost. I think it was like a Alolan Marowak or something in the back. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. Since it's a Pidgeot, I pair it with double ground in the back, Quagsire and Diggersby right now.
Yeah. That makes sense too, because I was pairing with Diggersby as well, and I think I can't remember what I had as for the second Pokemon. Maybe it was a Primeape? I think it was a Primeape, but then I ran to a Tinkaton lead, and I was just like really in a tough spot because I was like, well, Pidgeot loses this, and so does Primeape. So
yeah, because I have had people try to safe swap into like a Tinkaton, and yeah, that's why I have to have at least 2 ground options in the back, really.
Yeah.
Sometimes if they have fighter in the back, like after I've already lost the Pidgeot, that can be really annoying because like obviously Diggersby like, can do a little bit, but not a lot. And Quagsire is not tanky enough. But yeah, for the most part, it's been working pretty well so far. Any excuse to use Pidgeot, I will take.
That's fair. I was using the other bird, Corviknight, which It's not as bulky as I thought it would be. I finally made one because they've been spawning in the wild. It's not as bulky as you wish it could be, and the sand attack is super weird. Like it's fantastic into Tinkaton and like Trapeon, but like I feel like it sucks across the board against everything else. Like you're like I'm playing into a Pidgeot, I'm throwing resisted sand attacks at it, right? And I'm like, I have the superior typing, but this matchup's still super uncomfortable, you know? And same thing with like a jump bluff, right? Oh, the amount of times I accidentally queued into Open Great League with my remix team is kind of crazy too. They'd be like, man, why is this guy running a Psycho Cup meta jam? Like, what is happening?
You need to do the thing where you like scroll to the bottom so that you can't.
I know. But here's what happens. I'll lag and I restart my phone and then I forget, right? And I remember one set I played more Great League, Open Great League than remakes. I played 3 Open Great League and 2 remakes. Here's the funny part. I've won more with my team in Open Great League than remix. I'll go like 5-0 and 3 of them are in Great League, you know? They're like, dude, what is going on? They have like a jump off in the lead, right? That's taking double super effective damage from Ice Punch. Obviously, that's a good matchup for them, but they'll have like a Lanoon in the back, right? And they'll be like, well, I can't do anything here, right? So, because who's expecting to see a Metasham?
Yeah.
But, so not Lanoon. I keep calling that thing Lanoon for some reason.
So did Niantic when they made the blog. So
that's true.
Fair. That's fair.
You can be forgiven for this one.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the best part is that we just have to deal with these weird normal types with grass coverage and a dark fast attack or ghost fast attack, because if there was Lanoon and Fur in the meta, man, I'd be losing my mind now which one. I think Fur would come out on top because you just run Sucker Punch, right? Or did they give Sucker Punch to Lanoon? Is that what they did? No, they gave Stomp to Lanoon, right?
Well, they were giving
Shadow Claw?
Trailblaze, and then they took it off Lanoon because it wasn't supposed to learn it.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, gotcha. But Lanoon would have been running Shadow Claw, and it would just been the worst of the 2 normal types. I feel like because you just lose your head. So
yeah,
yeah. I don't know if there's too much utility for Lanoon over Fur at that point, unless the pacing was like significantly faster. But I don't even know.
It's got different coverage options, I guess. But
yeah, slightly different. But okay,
yeah, because it can run like Thunder, Trail, or it would have had Trailblaze, Grass Knot. It also has the Sand Attack option.
True.
Yeah, true. That's true. Okay, let's go into Championship Series because we have a lot to cover. Because we have to cover stuff that we missed last week when Zayak was here, obviously. So we have Seville, I think, right?
Or Sevilla.
Sevilla, yeah, that would make more sense. Yeah, come on now. I've taken a couple years of Spanish. I gotta remember this. So Sevilla,
the double L
special event, and we have a first-time champion again. It's HK Assassin, who's been around the scene for quite a bit of time. So really cool to see him perform. And he was, I feel like, the beginning of the Unova Stunfisk meta because he did win it all with the Unova. His team was kind of wild. Unova Stunfisk, Superior, Shadow, Swampert. Dude, I don't know. His team looks kind of RPS in a lot of ways, right? Like Superior, very RPS, right? Into especially in a jump bluff meta. But I mean, not too bad because you have something to hit it at least with. But I mean, it's Talonflame, like it could be weird in certain situations. Talonflame actually feels a lot safer though, because
but are you really going to run jump bluff against this team?
Kind of, yeah. It's got really good. You got matchups against the Swampert, the Superior,
Stunfisk, Talonflame.
Stunfisk, I wouldn't mind as a jump bluff. To be fair,
yeah.
You win you lose the 1s, but you win the 0s and 2s with jump bluff.
Yeah. It's really annoying and tedious and long, but it's not like the worst matchup.
It's a pretty neutral matchup, yeah. Your only bad matchups are Tinkaton and Talonflame. And Talonflame, the acrobatic still kind of hurt. And Tinkaton, you kind of could like chunk it a bit. I don't know. I think jump off is very fine into that team. But I mean, I think that's why he had to run, Stunfisk instead of some other ground type, right? Or I mean, even maybe some other electric type would not be ideal there. But he did go against Potamon in the grand finals, and it was a weird one because he swept Potamon in the winners finals, then Potamon swept him in the grand finals, and then he swept him again in the reset, which goes to show that, in my opinion, I think it seems kind of RVS, right? But I mean, it looked that way at least because against Panama, I mean, Panama also has the Gastrodon, right? So like in a way, it's similarly RPS because if you get that Gastrodon on the Superior, it's over too, right? So, but I do think the Gastrodon actually has a lot of play into HK Assassin's team, right? The Tingatong, the Sunfist as a neutral play into Lapras and Swampert, and it's not like the worst into Talonflame. So I understand why Panama brought it up, but yeah, they both had fairly different teams actually, only overlapping in the Tingatong and the Talonflame. But this is the first tournament we had Tingatong available, I think, right? Yep. And yeah, I was in the grand finals, so pretty good.
I know, because I was playing Johannesburg the same weekend, and I remember looking at the Sevilla.
Sorry, that one's
16...
probably technically the first one, right?
No, because it was on Sunday actually.
Okay.
Actually, Sevilla, or I guess Johannesburg crowned the first champion with Tinkerton, but it wasn't the first to start with Tinkerton. And I was looking at the top 16 graphic, sort of like, just as a practice exercise, going like, okay, what line would I bring into all of these teams? And I was looking at HK Assassins, and I was like, nah, I'm not seeing that this weekend. No shot, this one pops out. And then, he went on to win it all. So I was like, didn't respect your game, I guess. My bad.
It'd be like that sometimes. Well, it's actually funny. This is unrelated, but
Pajaman's team was kind of...
Yeah. Go ahead, Tristan.
I was going to say, Pajaman's team was kind of a little unusual as well, because he had like the Jellicent, the Gastrodon, Charjabug, Talon, Golisopod.
Yeah.
So like both him and HK Assassin's teams were like a little bit like, not that any of those Pokemon on their own are like that surprising to see, but like just the combination of what they ran is like mostly sort of like slightly off meta picks, not like super off meta, but like just that combination together is just not what you normally see.
Yeah, it's not the full team build you would be
worth
prepping
noting
into
that
that weekend.
There was no... Yeah. And
I like Potamon's
noting
team.
that the top 3 finishers didn't have... the top 3 didn't have a Zoomer or Drapion.
Yeah, which is kind of a precursor for Milwaukee too. But I do like the Jellicent. I mean, you could tell Potamon's thinking really far ahead in the meta because he's expecting everyone to bring Lapras. So he's got Jellicent, Chargebug, and Golisopod, right, all to counter that Lapras, and expecting it. And then also all 3 have a lot of play into Tingaton, right? So I think it's actually pretty. When I was looking at his team, I was like, whoa, this is like pretty smart team building. And honestly, like he probably would have done really well if he was at Milwaukee because his team is like pretty solid into that meta as well. But yeah, when you're talking about how like you didn't think a certain thing would work on HK Assassin's team, I was playing GBL and then I faced off against 2 like Legends United players, right? And then my buddy Ivy Pips messaged me because I guess they like battle GBL and like screen share and they're all just like a call hanging out. And it was like the same exact team back to back. He's like, yo, you gotta stop beating my team with beating my teammates when they're using my team, right? Because it was like a Tingaton double water, right? So he should have hard countered my Credilli double ground, but I found a way to beat it with like a Diggersby in the back. And because I just grabbed the shields with the Claydol and then use Diggersby. But and I was like, I mean, I think Diggersby's really solid right now too, but I don't. And we're just like, yeah, maybe it's probably not really relevant in the play Pokemon circuit or whatever. And right during the Milwaukee Grand Finals, he messaged me. He's like, yeah, clearly I don't know what's going on. Diggersby was on the first and third team, but yeah, I mean, it feels really strong. So I get why. We'll talk about Milwaukee later, but I get why. Out of pocket and Nighttime Clash brought it, but anyway, big congrats to HK Assassin, who will be getting a guaranteed invite, and hopefully for the European players, he was already in that top 50, so that one other spot can go down. I guess. Wait, let me think about it. I guess it doesn't actually matter, right?
No, because
it doesn't actually matter.
Well, I guess like any points that he's accumulated is burning up points, so the bar does
I guess it does
lower.
matter. Yeah, that does matter. Yeah. So the threshold to qualify is still technically lowered.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is actually for the best. If you want more, Well, I guess it's the same amount of Europeans that go.
Yeah, it probably
No
doesn't
matter
change
what.
things much, really.
It doesn't change things much. It changes.
It does
Okay.
change the point threshold. Like, it
Listen
does.
to this though. This is like, I mean, I don't think the difference is actually going to be this big for this matter, right? But this is
Yep.
what I'm about to say. I think if you're on the cusp, right, and you're trying to get into that top 50, you want him to be in that top 50.
Correct.
I think if you're just a fan of seeing a European player do well at Worlds, you want him to be below that top 50.
Yeah.
Because if he's below that top 50, then that means that the people that go to Worlds will have more points, which means that they either grinded the tournaments more or they perform better at tournaments, or likely a combination of both, right?
Yeah.
So technically you're sending a more qualified, like you're sending more qualified players,
Yeah.
like or stronger players to Worlds than if he was top 50. I don't know. I don't think it honestly at the end of the day, I don't think it matters that much actually. But that's just two different ways to look at it depending on what your POV is. But me personally, if I was from Europe, I would hope he's in that top 50, so it's easier to qualify for you know, myself or anyone else. Yeah. But anyway, Parma gets another medal as well too, who's been absolutely on fire honestly this season. So, and then a bunch of other names that we see pretty regularly as well too. I think this is the first time we've seen Vision Prods super high up actually, which is big congrats to him as well for that one.
Yeah. I think one thing that came out of Sevilla that's the same for Milwaukee was the fact that Tinkerton wasn't like massive, like it wasn't dramatic numbers on the day one usage. Like it was high. Like I think it was number one for both actually, maybe. But like, you know, it was at like the 30% mark or something like that. And then day two, dramatic spike up. Like so many of the top teams are running Tinkerton. It was like, I think it's bigger for Milwaukee than it was for Sevilla. But it was like a dramatic jump, like, you know, at least doubling of the usage rate in the top cut.
No, for sure. Yeah, so big congrats to him. We have a bunch of other stuff to talk about as well, dude. Did we talk about Taiwan regional? I don't think we did, right?
No.
Let's talk about that one too before we get to Milwaukee. I don't think we did. So for Taiwan, this is the regional qualifier, so not the playoffs yet.
Oh no, we didn't. Yeah,
we didn't, right? Yeah. And so
we talked about Thailand. That's why.
Yeah. So top, what is it? Top 16? Oh wait, no. Wait, is this the?
It was the Taiwan.
No.
It was
sorry. This is the playoffs, right?
For Taiwan, or they play this weekend.
Okay, this wording from Dracoviz is really confusing. It
not,
says Taiwan qualifier took place this past weekend with last year's champion and runner-up claiming first and second once again.
Yeah,
but it's first and second once again in the qualifier, right?
Yeah. It is.
Also, they bolded really random letters in this tweet for some reason. They bolded the AN in Taiwan and then qualifiers and then TOO in took.
Oh,
what is happening, huh? Dracoviz Twitter. Come on now. Anyway. Yeah, I got a lot of friends that work at Dracoviz, but I'm going to be critical if I can. So Vincent 070400 gets first. Gameberg gets TW gets second, and then this person in third place is just a bunch of numbers. I don't know if that's their phone number or what, but and then a bunch of other players as well too.
Just try calling it right now.
Yeah. This I think looks like it was maybe before the Tinkerton was released. I don't see it. No, there's Tinkerton actually.
Yeah,
there are a couple.
Sort of crazy.
It's pretty weird.
It is legal. It's just that no one used it.
Yeah, there's top 4 all have a Zumro, which is kind of nuts. I actually don't think a Zumro is unusable right now. I actually think it still is useful. I get why everyone's using Lapras though, and I do think you're probably a slight disadvantage if everyone's using Lapras Tinkerton, but clearly in this meta, no one was, or a lot of people weren't. But the bulk on Zumro is still like pretty hard to replicate even on a Lapras. So give him that. Yeah, but the first Tinkerton in Taiwan regional is in that 9th place. And there's only 2 in the top 16. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually nuts. There's more Corviknight than Tinkerton. But yeah. Wild.
Kind of wild. But
anyway,
we'll see how they change their team for the next one this weekend, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming up this weekend? Okay.
Yeah.
We shall see that for sure. And then we have ourselves the Milwaukee regional, which we saw this past weekend, and Out of Pocket was able to win the whole thing. Big congrats to him.
From the loser side. That's
From the
actually
loser side too. Yeah, it
pretty
was
wild.
it was kind of nuts. And there were a lot of games where he started out down one game and he had to just go 2-0 afterward to win it. Like one against like Rise Occasion too. Like it's not an easy opponent by any means.
No, just out of his mind.
Yeah. And so Snots got second. And that's another second place finish for Snots too. I believe he get second at Milwaukee like 2023. I think it was at Milwaukee as well too. He must be local to that area, is my guess, or close to it. But I think he got
third.
Huh?
He came third in 2023.
Oh, he came third.
Yeah,
it was Bulk got first and then Kimi Sui got second, right?
Yeah.
And then the invite cascade down for Yokohama year. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, he played fantastic as well all throughout. And Nighttime Clasher came in third. Nighttime Clasher, Out of Pocket, and Sustenance Eater, Nighttime Clasher's younger brother, all had the same team. Out of Pocket just had the normal jump left in the shadow because he doesn't have one without frustration. But that being said, the non-shadow actually is slightly better into the primate matchup because you could tank a Ice Punch, whereas the shadow can't really tank it. Or even if you tank, you get like Karate Chop down, but you can't Karate Chop down the non-shadow. So there's that slight benefit. There's not a lot of shadow primate though, or primate in general. Actually, Pranav and Rise Occasion both had it in 5th and 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Teddy Bear. So 3 in the top 8, but they're in the bottom 4 of the top 8. But
yeah,
I tried using it myself. Man, that thing is so frail. So frail. I spent another lithium on that thing too this past weekend. I don't know. It's hard to use.
I think you need to know it well, and you kind of need to build your lines around it when you use it a little bit.
Yeah. And I couldn't know well, but
also interestingly, Rise was the only one in the top 8 that was running kind of what I think most people assume is the standard moveset, the Rage Fist Close Combat. The other two from Pranav and Teddy Bear were on Ice Punch and Rage Fist, which is like, I don't know. It's like a choice, right? In what you are able to cover. And I think that they were maybe anticipating, I don't know, more jump left.
Yeah, I actually, in my head, Ice Punch is the default moveset. I know that PV Poke spits out the default, like when you put it in the Sims or whatever, as close combat, but Ice Punch just feels like the coverage is good. Like it just feels like having that coverage for like, a jump off matchup is really handy as opposed to the nuke potential. Because there's not much. The only steel types running around are Corviknight and Tinkerton, and they both, have a subtyping that resists fighting. So it's like, multiple times.
Did you see the Shadow Close Combat land on Tinkerton? Like,
yeah, it still does a lot, but I don't know.
I think I feel like with the Shadow, you probably want Ice Punch because you can actually beat Shadow Jump Left as a Shadow with Ice Punch.
Yeah.
But non-Shadow, I think Close Combat could make more sense. Though, obviously, if you're not running the Close Combat, then you are more awkward into the Tinkaton and like a few other matchups because you don't have that raw power. So,
well, to be fair,
I do think that Ice Punch does make a little more sense on the Shadow overall.
I think it actually, as I think about it a little bit more.
The other thing I was going to say with the non-Shadow Jump Left, I think it's a little better into Tinkaton potentially, is what some people were telling me. So there are some trade-offs.
You mean non-Shadow Jump Left into Tinkaton?
Right. I mean, like that, that isn't what, like, Pocket would have wanted one Shadow.
Yeah.
He just, didn't have it.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah. And then the other difference between Pocket, I think Pocket and Nighttime also ran different charge moves on their Labrases.
Yeah, Pocket
notoriously
notoriously
doesn't show up on the team sheet, but does mean that they play differently.
No, it does. Well, on Dracoviz it shows up as different. I don't know. The Nighttime Clasher and his brother were running the Ice Beam Sparkling.
I know, but I mean, if you're just looking at like the graphic.
Right. Oh yeah. Pocket was the one that was running Skull Bash. Like one of the only Lappers in the tournament running Skull Bash, apparently. And look how that went.
No, it definitely was a huge advantage in that mirror match too, right? So I think I saw some. It wasn't even a Pockets team, but like I saw some other people play against people with Skull Bash, and it was just like you just couldn't. It just that mirror match looks brutal, right? Especially at full health.
Yeah. Well, we saw it from Valiant Vision Brisbane as well, and like my take has always been that like if everyone is running Lapras, I actually think Skull Bash is the way to go. If not everyone is running Lapras, then I think then you run Ice Beam. But it seems like we are very rapidly going into a everyone running Lapras meta, which makes me think that Skull Bash is about to be the thing to run.
I think so too.
But then if you do that, I mean, you're putting yourself at risk.
It just depends too how much like jump love coverage you have though.
Yeah.
Because like jump love is kind of annoying to deal with right now too, and so the Ice Beam for that is pretty nice. So it sort of just depends with like how do you want to deal with Lapras? How do you want to deal with jump love? What are you more worried about? How is your team set up?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, big congrats to Nighttime Clasher, Snots, and Nighttime and Out of Pocket for their finishes, and that's another guaranteed invite taken away from North America because Pocket did win the special event in Puerto Rico. But that's fine. I mean, I think North America in general too has plenty of spots compared to other regions, so I actually don't.
It's true. We could probably stand to have a few taken away from us.
Yeah, and at the end of the day too, like if it happens, it happens. Like I mean, like if people are really complaining about people taking multiple guaranteed invites, then why don't you sign up and beat them, huh? If you can't beat them, they saved you a trip to Worlds. So that's my thought on that at least. Okay, let's skip the next two for now because we're running low on time. Before Tristan has to head out, let's take a look. Let's do our community day prediction for next time. And also, we got some transferring that needs to be done. Right? So Vanillite, we need some 75%. What did you both play Vanillite?
Yeah, it depends how quickly Tris has to go because I think we should predict because it is going to get announced pretty quickly.
We should predict. We can transfer next time. Let's predict. Yeah, let's predict though. I'm down to predict. I'm trying to think.
Hang on. I definitely know what my guess is. I just have to remember what it's called.
Okay.
Don't say Swaddle this time.
I mean, we could guess the same thing as like we've guessed before, in case we want to.
Say Swaddle.
But no, that's wait, this is for June?
Yeah, for June.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
all right.
June.
I feel like I know it's one or the other, and I'm going to just guess it wrong. I feel like
you've got to make your call.
I don't like this.
Let me just check what generation this guy's from. Okay.
Oh, I don't even care. I'm confident it's this one.
Okay, lock me in.
All right, I'm ready.
No, hold on.
Holding.
I can't believe Tristan got Palmy like on the dot. That's kind of crazy.
I know.
Insane.
Does
absolutely
like
bonkers.
I can see where the logic goes behind it, but the fact that it actually was the exact month he guessed it is kind of crazy.
Yeah, vile.
Wait, did you guess that? Did you guess that last month too?
I mean, I did guess it 2
months.
Oh,
2 months in a row. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you got a guess, Tristan?
Okay, I have something. I'll guess. I don't know. It's
right.
Probably
Count us
not
down.
even close.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's counting down?
I'll count. 3, 2, 1. Send. Oh, okay. So myself, Caleb, and Tristan have all gone for the Komoo Jangmoo line because it is June and that is the general vibe. But Kaz has gone for Hatane.
I probably spelled it wrong, but I was just like, you know what? Whatever.
We know who it is.
The pre-evolution is Hatena because it's an.
I was hoping Caleb would guess Arctibet.
No. I was gonna guess. I thought about guessing. Well, no, because I got the win on the Arctibet. So say what you want. I won that one. But right. I was gonna guess Quaxley again.
That's
Because
the.
I'm
I was
thinking like it's
thinking
either
about it.
Quaxley or Jangmo. I thought you would guess Quaxley. Wait, so why do you think it's Hatena? I know I figure why we all guess Jangmo, right? But why Hatena?
I thought that it would be the Jangmo or whatever. I thought that would be in July. Like
Mhm.
I thought that was later. So I thought they might do something else from like maybe Galar because they've been ignoring it.
Well, Kaz has got different typing, different generation, different Pokemon. So either she's going to be right or.
either I'm gonna be either like I'm gonna be something or nothing at all.
Yeah. So we either all right. There's a few different situations. We can't all lose, right? It's possible we all
can.
lose, right?
We
If
can
we're
all
all
lose.
off, we can
We
potentially
can't all lose.
We could potentially all lose, or we can all win, but Kaz, or Kaz wins,
Yep.
and we all lose.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be really weird because like I don't know the fact that they
I mean, I like my odds here because
the fact that they didn't pick Quaxley for this month means like
I'd
I
rather
have no
be
faith in patterns
transferring
anymore.
shiny Hatenas than transferring shiny Jangmos, so I don't hate where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Very
Yeah.
good point. It's actually just a protection strategy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to transfer this.
Kaz,
shot.
say goodbye to all those shiny Jangmo you're gonna be catching. When is this community day? Is it during NAIC?
It's this
Oh wait, they
Sunday.
haven't announced the date yet,
Oh,
right?
right. The next one. Yeah. Have
They
they?
have-
No, they haven't.
I don't think they have.
Wait,
No,
don't they
June,
have like
July,
a few
August.
save the
Yeah,
dates?
we don't know because it's next season.
Yeah, they've only given us dates for this season, and this is
No, it's next season,
next
so we don't know.
season. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't given us the June, July, August season yet.
Okay, it is usually during the.
All right, let's transfer these shinies, and then I gotta go.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
That's
This
good.
chance. I mean, we could probably end it after this too. We'll cover the comments next time because they're not like time sensitive ones, I think. But so let's end it on a transfer, and then
Fair enough.
we'll
Oh,
end it here.
how
All
many
right.
you got, Tristan, to get rid of?
What is it, like 50%?
One.
One.
Wait, what? What
Wait,
do you
you
mean?
only caught one shiny?
Yeah, I only have 2 shinies.
Oh, okay. And it was 50%.
Okay.
I only caught. So I had 1 shiny from before, and then I got 1 during Community Day, so I have 2 total. I was working, so 50%, so I transfer 1.
Fair
of
enough.
the 2.
Well,
All right.
I wasn't working. I was playing Community Day after the Johannesburg Special Championships. I caught 2. Which
Wait,
means-
what? How did you get LNEC 2 when you didn't?
I
What do
wasn't
you mean
really
by you were
catching up.
playing after? How much did you play?
We were like, Alan and Mike Chen were playing. I wasn't doing
What
too
were you
much.
doing? Just like talking?
Oh, no, yeah. I was talking. I was catching
Oh.
every now and then. We were
You
doing
really
some
are the new
raids,
Anacore.
like
That's
But
crazy
anyway.
though, because if you're playing with them, if you're walking around with people that are playing, that's crazy. That's all you got. I mean, hey,
I literally, Steve, I only played for 1 hour, the last hour of the event.
Oh, there goes the transfer.
Bye.
Wait. Why do you transfer both of them?
Well, the rules were actually 75% if you played. And technically, I played.
Oh, Steven.
Well, wasn't this rounded down?
I don't care.
I thought we said round.
Get rounded up, losers.
Yeah, I was like, part of me was thinking, I was like, what if he did play? He just transferred them beforehand, so he only has to transfer half. But I was like, wait, then he transferred a bunch beforehand, so that doesn't make any sense either. Yeah,
no,
there's
I
no way
just-
around
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I didn't really. I got a little
Well,
unlucky,
also-
but I didn't play that
Yeah.
much.
Because I only played for literally the last hour of the event, and I caught 4.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
probably
We
played
got-
for about an hour. So
Can we see here? There. Got
oh,
the
there
Yep,
we
2.
I see the
Yeah.
2. All right.
It's hard for me to see what I'm.
Yeah. We can't see either, really. It's a little choppy, but all right,
yeah.
I see it
Nope.
now.
yeah, it's Godski.
Nice.
Five
Well
and a
done.
light.
Well done.
Well,
I screen recorded too.
yep. Well,
Um,
I'll be the only one transferring next time because
I screen recorded too. So if we want to,
Wait, only you transfer next time? I thought me and Cass got it wrong too. We had some like partial credit.
yeah.
no,
what
we
are
had. Yeah, we had partial credit Caleb because we got the generation and the final typing the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. I thought all three of us lost. I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to share some of these.
I mean, yeah, technically Tristan got the most points, but like Steve got the least, which is 0.
Okay, how about this? What do y'all think about this rule, right? A slight modification. Not for next time, right? But for future purposes. If anyone guesses the exact Pokemon correctly, everyone else loses. Yeah, because I think like if you get it exactly right, that's fine. If you get like, Tristan was close, it wasn't Palmob, it was like a Raichu or something, but like so he got more points than me and Cass, but he kind of didn't get it right, then it would be like whoever got last. But if someone got it exactly on the dot, like Tristan did, then everyone transfers.
100% agree. That's a great change. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll skip it for next time if we didn't know.
I
think
we should add one other stipulation though. Is I think that of the people that lose, I think if you get more points, maybe you transfer a less percentage though. So like it'd be like 75 for Steve and then 50% for Caleb and Kaz.
Okay, and then so we'll do like 50-25.
So you get like something for getting points, but like you still lost.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
So we'll do 50-25. So like if you didn't play, you transfer 25%, and then if you did play, you transfer 50% or something.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fair. Right. That's fair. Yeah, because we might have lost, but we didn't lose like Steve, right?
Whatever. But look. Well, thanks for tuning into the co-host takeover edition of the BattleCats podcast. Thanks for Caleb Peng for joining us.
Right. New era. The next 100 episodes is I'm not going to be here for the first hour.
He's earned some time in lieu.
Ping me when Kaz the Corner is on.
Yeah. He comes in, tries to get some points, and then dips.
Yeah. And then the rest of the podcast, I'm asking about stuff that you already covered. Yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us.
Even when you're here.
Yeah. We'll see if our predictions are correct or not. I'm assuming it'll be announced like sometime down the road because they just announced Community Classic with Metrop. We'll talk about that next time. But anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Peace.